Hey Joel, how's it going, buddy? This is Cameron. Hey, I really appreciate the chance to get to meet you on Friday, and I took a look at your online presence, and I told you I would do a quick audit, kind of an overview of what you got going on, and we could start a conversation. So that's what this video is going to do. Hopefully, at the end of about 10 or 15 minutes, it's going to be a lot of information, but none of it needs to be actioned. It's just more explaining kind of where you're at. So. To no further ado, I will kind of go through my process. I looked at your just Google search, Google My Business, Facebook, website, and kind of dove into those a little, deeper. I could go into your LinkedIn. I could do some SEO and help you out with some setup on that. But let's just look at your Facebook first. So I do social media management. I could manage your profile on Facebook for you from a business manager standpoint, and then I could also do Facebook advertising, Facebook ads for you. Those are two separate services I offer, and I can give you some pointers here. I think you are a little mixed up with so you're at you have an address here in Facebook that might be confusing things with Google and ranking, but you have Suite 104 in your address on Facebook. So just note that for later, because I think your name, address, and phone number is very important, and I don't know, you don't have it at the bottom of your website, but you do have it on your I know from your Google My Business, it's no suite number, and that matters down to the T. Crossing your T's and dotting your I's with Google. So you might want to look at changing your Facebook address just to match your Google My Business address. Just a quick point. But you can optimize a lot in your description about me, your actual services on Facebook. There's other things you can do to optimize your Facebook profile. I would vary your images, so maybe mix up these images a little bit, put some more content with videos and pictures on your posts, and post more regularly. So it looks like the last one to come out was in October of 17, so you're not managing it, and I guess there's not a lot of SEO and Facebook that Google cares about for ranking your website, but it just leads through Facebook. Is your stream that you're kind of not taking advantage of yet? You could have a revenue stream, through Facebook, so of leads. So that's a whole discussion that we could get into, management of your, Facebook or Instagram. And then I took a look at your Google My Business next. Things to note on Google My Business are you could increase the number of reviews that you have. I could help with that. Google My Business Management includes that for me. From one of my services is Google My Business Management, and that means managing your profile, optimizing it, responding to your reviews, getting more reviews, and then making posts on your behalf. So I can get into that a little bit here. I could increase the number of reviews you have from real legitimate customers or clients that you've had in the past or currently, and then I could get through here and give you SEO driven responses for these reviews. You should be responding to each one as a tip that I would give you. Good, bad, or ugly, I would respond to each one of these because Google will read that and then try to for instance, Google reads in this person's review that you are in, that the words workers' compensation law is pertinent to your Google My Business listing, your services. So Google reads these reviews, and then they also read your responses to those reviews. So your responses should be driven with SEO in mind. And I can kind of teach you how to do that, or do that on your behalf. managing your GMB. So reviews is one thing to mention. Your information and making it congruent across the web is another concern. I didn't find anything really than what I noted. And then number of photos by owner and the posts by owner. I don't see many posts, if any at all. So I know you're not managing the profile or making regular posts, but I would recommend a post a day with good graphics, informational or educational in nature, just to alert Google. It's really not, it doesn't matter how many people view it, really. You could get some leads, a lot of valuable leads from Google My Business, especially when it starts to rank. So that brings me to kind of looking at how this is ranking, because the SEO for this is separate from your website, just like SEO, search engine optimization for Facebook, is kind of separate from Google and your Google My Business. So they're all kind of separate entities. I put this Google My Business into my software that creates a ranking, and what I found, was kind of obvious based on your keyword. Let me see if I can find your. Sorry about that. I'll pull up your actual results. So this is a keyword ranking for a half square mile in East County, El Cajon area. And what it shows me in red is your 20 or above, the 20th ranked listing or higher for the keyword lawyer in this geographical area. So this is what this represents is, a reflection of if I were on my mobile device in Lakeside, El Cajon, like Spring Valley area, or right here at your address, at our address, I wouldn't be able to find, if I searched lawyer, I wouldn't find you in the top 20. So, that's what I'm concerned about here, that, your keywords that are ranking, workers' compensation and injury settlement expertise. So, like, law or lawyer, workers' compensation, I could search and maybe have different results. But, that's what we want to drill into. You should be ranking for lawyer, you should be ranking for personal injury, all kinds of things. And what I did was I ran it through another software for keyword ranking, and I found that your website URL, just your website URL, not your Google My Business, your website's ranking for Geller Law and Joel Geller Law, and nothing else. So unless I search these keywords, I'm not likely to find you in Google. So they kind of have to work together. You have the same list of keyword targets for Google My Business as for your website, so that, basically, when I search your name, your Google My Business pops right up. But, for instance, if I were to, search, so this is, this might be tainted results because I've got my IP address on it, knows what building I'm in and all that stuff. But let's see, when I search personal, so you come up. Let's see. No, you're not in the top 3, but you're right there on the map. So you're right after these top 3. But if I, so personal injury lawyer, you might be ranking for. If I were to put that into this software, actually let's do it while we're on screen. Let's do it. Just because I'm curious and I want to give you a good reflection of what you're ranking for. Let's see. So I'm going to take your URL. Let me run this real quick while I'm talking, and then we'll know. And you can see too. So this is your URL, your keywords, personal injury lawyer. We'll do half-mile radius. and see what that gives us. But what I wanted to show you, you have this map pack, what they call the map pack, which is the top 3 listings. Anytime you put in a search term into Google, you have this map pack. Now, that may show 1, 2, 3, 4 or more on the map, but it's only going to show 3 listings. I have to click View All to see the rest. So there's an add, then number 1, number 2, number 3, 4, and you're 5. So that's not bad. I mean, you're 5 on the map. You're closer than I thought to the top for personal injury lawyer. But what this does, shows me where you're ranking, where you're not. So I can actually manipulate the map and make you rank all over, and not just at your building address where you likely always look at your ranking. So while that's running, I will go through your website. We're shifting from your Google My Business and those services that I provide, optimizing that listing, to your website, which I also could help you out with this on-page optimization. I'm going to explain a few things to note that I noticed right away. I mean, the image is great. It's high quality. It's a relevant, recent image of you. What I would recommend is you make this a little more contrasted so I could read it a little better. Maybe even put it up here in the solid blue so you could just read it right off the bat. Just simply move it up. But you also have an area here to convert a client. So what I'm seeing is this schedule your free consultation is a click to call button. See down here in the lower left, when I hover over it, it brings up your telephone number. What I would do is make this phone number more pertinent, prominent here up, in the top, make it big and bold, hard to ignore. Make that click to call, because when I hover over it, it doesn't want to give me a click to call. I have to actually know that that's your phone number and put it into my phone. I don't know that I could, on my mobile, I may click that and then find your phone number and then be like, oh, I don't want to call you. I want to put my name, email, and email address in there. So I would just reconfigure this a little bit. Other than that, it's not too bad. Next, you have a video at the bottom. I would put right up here at the top, because that should be, that should explain everything we need to know about the business. So I would put that near the top. I would put, the next thing you see is either an entry form like you have at the bottom, contact us about your case, or I would have a blurb about, time is of the essence, or something urgency, moving someone, a viewer, to some action urgently, a call to action quickly up here at the top, not just going into your expertise. So call to action, make it easy for me to find the form so I can choose if I want to call, I want a form, I want to book a schedule with you, and then I can scroll down and read the rest if I want. So that's kind of what I would recommend, just reconfiguring some things on your homepage. Also, content. So you're very low on copywriting or content on your homepage. You have 229 words in which for Google to read your page, understand what you're about, rank you in keywords. So it's not a lot of information. It's not a lot of chance to rank keywords. So, this thing I showed you here, that's why, you should have 1,000 or 1,500 words on your homepage, trying to rank a lot more keywords than what I found. So that's one way to do it. Then the next thing I would recommend is tying in your maps down at the bottom, which I could help you out with. Putting your information, name, address, phone number again at the bottom, which Google would read. And then I think, just building out some more pages would help you. Location pages especially would help rank you locally, and I could show you how to build pages, or how I build pages. But I could expand off a lot of this content you have on your about page, put it on your home page, and it would rank better. So There's a lot of intricacies with it, but just trying to state the generalities here. You have some citations, which means your website's listed across the web on other sites, like Yelp.com or wherever, right? But if they're not particularly authoritative links or backlinks or pages that your link is on, then your trust flow will be low. So this should be more closer to 20s, 30s, or 40s, and this should match it. This should be like a 1-to-1. So you have a low trust flow and a moderately low citation flow. And so that's just some SEO and backlinking, which is SEO is a service I provide for websites. So I can help you out with these services, or guide you on how to do it yourself. Or the person, if you have a website person already, I can help you out with that. Now, what this is showing me is like congruent with my blind search, right? I did personal injury lawyer. I found maps. I clicked more and I found you at 5. I'm sitting in a building that's the same as your address, right? I'm in East County Business Center doing this video right now. So what I'm seeing is congruent. You're 4 or 5 for that term at this location, roughly. Then you go a few blocks north, south, east, or west, and you fall off dramatically. So that's just lack of repetition and seeing those terms in your Google My Business posts or online at all. So this is showing me that at least what I'm looking at is pretty congruent with everything else. I have a good idea of what you're ranking for and where and how widespread it is. And yeah, I mean, this is showing you some good information of kind of like where you're at in the status. So you need some website work. You need some Google My Business work for these items that I mentioned on this, profile. And you could use some Facebook and social media management. So I hope that, is a quick enough, rough enough summary just to kind of start a conversation, see if you want to take advantage of any of those services. I can help quote you on them, whatever you would like. I'm here to help. So I'll leave my contact information and you know how to get back a hold of me. Thanks, Joel. I appreciate it. I hope you have a great Monday.